And I believe I am live. Hi, my name is Tyriece Simon, writing solo, and this is MMA Renegade episode 16, recapping Bellator and UFC from last night. Um, First and foremost, hi guys. Been a while. Been a week off from doing anything, putting out any content. So I missed you guys. First things first. Got some good news to share before we start the show. All right. So I took some time off to kind of figure out what we're gonna do with this channel and with Elijah, now focusing on his job more and him being out indefinitely. I had to figure out some things and how to move forward with this channel. So it took some lot of thinking. Hopefully, wait, let's see, make sure the Wi-Fi is all right. Good. All right. So I had to do some figuring out, had to do some planning, had to do some scheduling, and how to fit everything that I want to do in. And I've done so. I've done so. So starting Thursday, starting Thursday, I'm going to be doing we like used to do it before with after we told do our recap of UFC events. We'll do MMA news. Well, now we're getting a full show. You're getting a full show from me recapping and talking about MMA news going on, the bigger news going on in the world, uh, and you get my opinions, my thoughts on it, and we could have a live discussion. Um, I was split on how I want to do that because I was thinking about doing it as a tape show with with footage and voiceover stuff like that. And then I thought about, well, I like having the crowd participation. I like having you guys talk to me as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to split it up. So you're gonna get two tape shows and two live shows on Thursday. Talking about UFC news and stuff like that. And I am aiming to do that uh about 3 p.m. 3 p.m. I'm looking at doing a 3 p.m. show. Um, and then, sorry, I'm reason why I'm in here and not elsewhere. 'Cause I'm a little bit sick and drinking emergency, trying to get myself together. So I'm sorry about that. The weather changes is bothering me. Um, and then Friday prediction show. Friday we got the prediction show. Um, that's going to be taped. That's going to be taped. We're going to add B-roll and stuff like that too, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about when I reference fighters and stuff like that. So Friday's going to be taped prediction show. Um, Saturday is left open because whether there's a PFL show or a Bellator show that happens on Friday, I will recap it on Saturday. And then Sunday, of course, going to be UFC related. Um, so that's the plan. That's the plan. So Thursday show, Friday show, possible Saturday show, and then a Sunday show with if UFC is involved. So that's the plan. So 4 extra videos, and we'll see how everything works out. If we, work with this right now, then we'll move on to adding more content, stuff like that. But it's all about scheduling and all about time preparation for it. So Thursday, you get a MMA news show. Friday, you get a prediction show. Saturday, possible Bellator PFL recap. And then Sunday, you get UFC recap. So there we go. So I finally have figured things out, and we can finally get the ball rolling and kind of see how we're gonna do this thing. So I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into it. Um, a lot of it has been trying to balance work, balance preparation for this, and then trying to, also balance life as well. So, a lot of balancing acts going on. So I appreciate you guys' patience and to continue to follow me and follow us. Um, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. 'Cause I'm again trying to relax a little bit. Can I get better? Uh, not feeling the best right now. Why did the UFC keep playing with Bellator? I don't understand that. I don't understand why the UFC keeps trying to play with Bellator. The reason why I say this is because the UFC goes head to head with Bellator with fight nights every now and then. And I'm confused as to why they think going head to head with another promotion or going. I think they did last week. They did last week with or 2 weeks ago with another promote with another event going on. But the UFC has been doing this thing where they're trying to go to have other promotions, other events going on at the same time. I don't really understand it. So Bellator, it's like the third time I'm gonna say this that this happened, but the UFC again compared to Bellator, Bellator had the better card. It had the more eventful card and had the more uh, well produced card. I would say. I love Bellator last night. Had a big fight feel to it. Maybe also because of the crowd participation, but also production level was there. Um, I thought the fights were well booked. Um, intrigue intrigue at the main event. Uh, some up and coming fighters you want to look out for. Like Bellator does a really good job of doing that. I think they really showcase um in comparison to UFC, that they could put on better events and they have well more to offer in terms of fight nights. I think the UFC does well with pay-per-views, but in terms of fight nights, Bellator does a great job of making you care to watch something on or a Showtime or at one point at the Zone or whatever, and make you feel you got your time worth. Um, they did it so here again. They did this all again. The Bellator main event was Yo Romero versus Phil Davis. Yo Romero's debut uh, at Bellator, and also I think his first time at 205, um, if not ever in a while. Used to be a 185er for many of years in the UFC, um, and the main event for the UFC was Anthony Lionheart Smith versus um, Ryan Spann. And it's interesting that both organizations had light heavyweight main events, uh, you know, to headline their show. Um, Obviously, Yoel Romero versus Phil Davis is the bigger fight between the two. Um, Technically, I think it's the better fight between the two. Um, yeah, I just think that the UFC. There's something to this. There it definitely is something to it. I believe the Bellator announced their fight a while ago, and then we have Ryan Spann versus Anthony Smith. So I believe I want to say that there is something to the UFC trying to go head to head with Bellator a little bit there. Um, if you really look deep into it, but yeah, I thought Bellator had a great better card. Let's get into it, right? So let's start with Bellator's main event. Let's talk about Bellator main event. Romero versus Phil Davis. Now, I think I think Yoel Romero still has some fight in him. I think Yoel Romero is still capable of being a high level contender in the light heavyweight division or the middleweight division for Bellator. What I will say is that his style now in the last couple of years as well, um, as defensive minded as he is, and how um, at older age and everything like that, he's doing a good job of keeping himself from being harmed or from taking much damage. He's not giving any damage out in return. So he's Romero in the last couple of years have been very, very defensive minded, and low output, which I think is to conserve energy, to conserve stamina, so you go later rounds. Funny enough, I think he didn't know that it was a 5 round fight. I think he's so used to the UFC, main events being 5 rounds. I think he forgot that it was a 5 round fight. I mean, a 3 round fight for Bellator, which is interesting. Um, and yeah, I like for the last couple of years, Yomor has been primarily just focusing on defense and low output and not trying to just waiting for that one moment to explode and to be offensive. and that leads to a lot of his opponents being able to beat him on points and to be able to just do just enough to win rounds and do just enough to edge out Yo Romero. That's what happened here. Phil Davis beats Yo Romero by split decision. I think it could have been unanimous. Uh, I thought Phil Davis did a great job of not playing that game, of doing just enough. I thought the second round he had his best round the second round, and the third round he took Yo Romero down and was able to control him and took him down 5 times in the fight. Um, and I think the second round really was where we let his hands go a little bit more. It was able to put it on Yo Romero a little bit too. Um, and yeah, I thought again Phil Davis did just enough to win and was able to control Yo Romero towards the third round. Um, and I thought Yo Romero just there's just something about I don't know what fight it was. It may have been the first Ron Whitaker fight, where like after that he just became this guy that just is very very reserved, defensive minded, um, and doesn't want to do too much to burn the gas tank and not have that energy, um, and it's cost him. You can say it cost him in the Israel Adesanya fight. But that was uneventful, and Israel Adesanya won an unenthusiastic decision. The Phil Davis one here. Um, there's other instances like the Paulo Costa fight was another one where Paulo Costa had to wake him up in order for him to fight back. Yo Romero, uh, you know, ever since he's become more defensive minded and less trying to be offensive and trying to, uh, you know, put his own stamp on the fight. Um, he's kind of just he's done just enough to look impressive. He's done just enough to feel like he's in the fight, but he hasn't done enough to actually win the fight, and that's the biggest issue for Yo Romero. So, um, it's interesting because again, he does look the part. He looks great. I thought there were flashes of brilliance from Yo Romero yesterday, but it's not enough to say that he can, be a champion at Bellator without him being able to be explosive and implement his game plan. Even if he wrestles, even if he's not striking, even if he wrestles a little bit, that would probably bode more well for him. But just being defensive minded, just doing just a little bit of offense, it's not get the job done. And I thought that Fedor did a great job of just doing just enough to score on points. Then the third round was able to take him down and control a little bit and get the wins. Good for Phil Davis. Um, I just see what they do with that light heavyweight division. That light heavyweight is going through a bit of a change now. I think Anthony Rumble Johnson, he's out through illness. So I wonder if they do Yo Romero versus Anthony Johnson, or if they do Phil Davis versus Anthony Johnson next year. Um, I would love to see Ryan Bader versus Phil Davis running back. There's a bunch of other fights you could do at Bellator that I'm interested in. So Bellator definitely has a great light heavyweight division. Vadim Nemkov, I think, uh, may be, if not one B. I think I would favor Vadim Nemkov a little bit more than a John Pakovitz if they were ever to fight. I think Vadim Nemkov probably one of the best light heavyweights in the world right now, low key. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Other fights on the card, I thought Neiman Gracie let his hands go and showed that he's more than just a jiu-jitsu ace. Beating Mark Leminger, I thought it was a great performance for him. Showed he had hands. Uh, definitely the best Gracie. Definitely the best Gracie. Action wise in the octagon, definitely the best. Being able to not only his hands looks better and better the more you see him, but again, he's got that ground game. So the great performance from him. Deanna Burnett beating Alexandra Lara. That was a good fight. Saul Rogers versus Georgie Kurakian. Kurakian, I don't believe that name right. That was a good fight as well. Saw Rollins pretty much just controlled and was able to get the better of him. I think Georgie was coming in on short notice as well, so there's also that. But that was a good fight. It was a good fight. And then Christian Edwards loses his undefeated streak, the protege to John Jones. Um, Tough loss, tough loss. I know Bellator was really looking to build him up as the next guy in the light heavyweight division. Of course, you got the comparison with John Jones. The commentators let you know over and over again that he is John Jones' protege and that he trains with John Jones. Um, and unfortunately, he took his loss. He took his first L. Ben Parrish was able to get the knockout. Um, Ben Parrish was somebody that was being overlooked in this fight, somebody that people were counting out. And yeah, he shut the lights off for Christian Edwards. It was weird because like Christian Edwards, like his whole entire guard was down. So his left side was just there for the taking, his chin up in the air, and Ben Parrish caught him. Great performance for Ben Parrish. Um, yeah, overall, I thought I thought it was good. I'll give it a solid B plus. I thought it was a solid card, and there's definitely fights for Bellator 266 that you could go back and watch. But the main thing is Yo Romero, man. Yo Romero, he has the part, he looks the part. I think he's still capable. I think he has that wrestling game that we haven't really seen him use. We've seen him stuff a takedown in the first round, but we also seen him get taken down a lot in that fight as well. So I think that wrestling, I would love to see him implement that more if he's not going to be more of trying to stand up and try to be more defensive. Well, mixing the wrestling, use that wrestling pedigree, and maybe in that way, you're not what's the right word? Like you don't have to take damage. 'Cause I think that's what the main thing is with Yormel right now is not taking that damage and trying to age in this game and also be able to fight. Kind of what Alex Overeem did towards his last run of his career in UFC was just not trying to get hit as much, um, and doing just a little bit enough to gain a victory or trying to use his veteranship in order to win. But against these guys like Phil Davis, who he's not a spring chicken either. He's 33 years old, I believe. Um, Against these guys that are high level light heavyweights, he's going to have to be more assertive in this fight. So that's my stamps on Yo Romero. Uh, but I thought it was a B plus show. I really enjoyed it. The commentary was good. Um, yeah, I thought both the performances was good as well. And even the Phil Davis one, as maybe as it could have been uneventful for others. I did think that it had me on the edge of my seat 'cause I was wanting to see what Yoromuro was going to do, um, especially going towards the second and the third round. I thought Yoromuro was going to open his hands up a little bit more. I think he did try to catch uh, Phil Davidson counters, swinging wildly. That's another thing. Like Yoromuro, he swings wild and then really set things up or try to work his way in and it seemed like he was trying to defend it and kind of catch Phil Davis with the overhand or trying to catch him off balance, which Phil Davis is slick and that's he's a veteran in himself. So that wasn't gonna happen. That wasn't gonna happen. All right, UFC Fight Night: Smith versus Penn. Boy, I think what did I say about this? I think it was Darren Till. It was Darren Till, which I was talking about how getting your feet wet in the division. I think it goes to make Kevin Lee is another example, but Darren Till was an example I made where it's like, you took a loss against somebody in the top five or whatever, and maybe it's time to take a step back and go outside the division. Maybe it's time to go below the rankings and try to fight somebody and try to gain that confidence back and try to work your way up. Um, and I think Smith is a good example of that. Smith was somebody that kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit. He lost to John Jones. He comes back and then he beats Alexander Gustafsson. And then he takes two back-to-back losses against Glover Teixeira and then Alexander Ranchik. And so what does Anthony Smith decide to do? Anthony Smith says, you know what? I'm gonna fight anybody. I'm gonna take somebody outside the rankings. I'm gonna take somebody that's in the top 15 or whatever. And I'm gonna fight them. And so he fights Devin Clark, beats Devin Clark by a triangle choke, gets his confidence back. Then he beats Jimmy Crute. Beat that was unfortunate because Jimmy Crute with the leg injury. And now he beats Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann was, I think, was ranked number 13 in the division. So Anthony Smith is ranked number 6, but he's fighting people outside the rankings. Why? Reason why is because now Anthony Smith is buzzing again. Now Anthony Smith got that mojo back. Now Anthony Smith looks better, and in comparison, he looked really really good yesterday. His hands looked really good. Um, I thought he showed his veteran his skill experience in being able to not get wrapped up in the chaos that Ryan Spin was kind of bringing to him. Um, Rashford was throwing wild shots and trying uh, you know, trying to knock out Anthony Smith. And Anthony Smith just, you know, picked him apart. Nice jab. 1-2. Was able to put Ryan Spann out. Um, even the little things like when Ryan Spann was on the ground and possibly anybody else would look for the and knee to the head. And Anthony Smith decided, no, I'm gonna go to the body. Anthony Smith also had an arm bar at one point. He decided not to go for it and work to staying on top of Anthony Smith. I mean of Ryan Spann. Um, yeah, that's just the poise and just the way he was able to just connect his shots and to in comparison to Ryan Spann, who was swinging wildly. No, Anthony Smith just said, I'm gonna throw a jab, then I'm gonna throw a 1-2 and I'll put you out. Um, yeah, that was a brilliant performance from Anthony Smith. Probably the best performance he's had uh, in some time. Um, I mean, yeah, now we're talking about Anthony Smith in a way where Anthony Smith is back. Anthony Smith, we're looking at Anthony Smith as okay. He's on momentum now. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He fought Devin Clark, who lost to Ian Cutelabra in last night's card. He fought Jimmy Crute. That fight ended in a leg injury to Jimmy Crute. And then now he's being Ryan Spann. He's being three guys that were either outside of the top 10 um, or, not even ranked. And he's able to beat them, and now he's got that mojo back, and now he's got that interest back, and now people want to see Anthony Smith versus Alexander Ranchik, the rematch. Uh, Maybe you do Anthony Smith versus Jiri Prochaska. Uh, there's endless possibilities for Anthony Smith, but the thing is that Anthony Smith has possibilities now. He has opportunities. He could go this way, go that way. You can put him in this fight, and now he gets close to a title fight. This is what I say when people like Darren Till, you keep pushing them against, the top 5, the top 3, people that are ranked ahead of him. Now you find yourself in a position where people are not as eager to see Darren Till, or people lose faith in Darren Till a little bit. Is that what the UFC should do? Have Darren Till fight somebody outside the UFC rankings, middleweight rankings, have him gain that confidence back, have him gain that mojo back, see if he can get that mojo back, of course. But get that mojo back and get that hype going, get that build going to where Darren Till goes on a run outside the UFC middleweight rankings, fights somebody probably in the top 15, maybe like 15, 13 or whatever. Get that mojo back, get the hype, and now we can talk about Darren Till fighting somebody, you know, towards getting toward the title shot. Maybe somebody in the top 5, maybe somebody in the top 3. But now he has that clout, to do so. So I thought it was a great performance for Anthony Smith. Um, and yeah, I thought Ryan Spann, man, Ryan Spann's I think it's just timing. And I think Ryan Spann is just this was way too soon for Ryan Spann. Um, I thought that the experience level and just what Anthony Smith brings to the table, yeah, like Ryan Spann was not gonna have a good time with Anthony Smith. I thought, on the ground I had Anthony Smith beating him. Stand-up wise, I had Anthony Smith beating him, and yeah, Ryan Span's gonna have to take a step back and fix those little things, like the weird wind up he was going. Like he was aiming to knock out Anthony Smith, where and no, I'm just gonna jab, I'm gonna pick you apart, I'm gonna hit you accurately, and then go down. And that's what he did. So good performance for Anthony Smith, and hopefully Ryan Span comes back from it, and hopefully he works on those things. Because again, the light heavyweight division needs contenders at this point. Um, Other fights on the card, I thought Ian Cutelaba versus Devin Clark. I thought Ian Cutelaba looked great. Probably the best he's ever been in the UFC as a whole. Showing his grappling ability, showing his striking. Really, really well done. Uh, you know, Hopefully, maybe he tones it down a little bit with his antics. That's one thing I don't like about Ian Cutelaba, but you can't deny how imposing he looks, and how if he could just rein it in a little bit, put a little bit more control on himself, like he did last night. I think he could be somebody you could look at in the top 15, and possibly fight somebody in the top 10 soon. Um, Aaron Lipsky versus Mindy Bohum. Uh, Straight up dominant fight for Aaron Lipsky. Um, Interesting to see where she goes from here in the 125 division. Arman Tusurkian versus Christos Gagos. Gagos. Again, somebody looking for in the lightweight division. Um, Obviously, Arman lost to Islam Makachev. Um, but other than that, man, he looks really, really good. It looks really, really good. I'm interested to see where he goes in the lightweight division. Um, I really don't know who he would fight next. That lightweight division outside of maybe the top 10 is like really, really weak, I think. And not weak in the terms of like, they're horrible fighters. It's just that, who really stands out? Who do you see come out of the top 10 that you could say, okay, he's the next guy up? Maybe he fights Gegard Gillespie. Um, Maybe he fights a guy like maybe you know what? Because I do think there is potential in Armand. Maybe do the winner, or the winner of Ali Quinta versus Bobby Green. Maybe that's the next fight. I think that would be a good name for him to beat or to fight. You know what I say? But I think he goes to beat both of them. Um, and then now we have Armand as a bigger name, and somebody you could look out for more. Um, he gets it done. Got taken down a little bit early. Um, was able to get back up. Christos did a front kick, and Armand was able to counter with the left hook. Was able to drop him, and once he had him hurried, just on top of him and put him away. So I thought it was a good performance from him. Nate Menace versus Tony Gravely. What a great fight that was. Nate Menace got hurt at the end of the first round, came back and stopped Gravely with an uppercut. Good performance from him. I thought both guys looked good, actually. Tony Gravely looked impressive. I meant to see where he bounces back from. I thought his striking looks good. I thought his grabbing looked good. And Nate Menace, man, it's tough. Dude's tough, and dude can absolutely crack, and can absolutely have resilience to be able to even when he's hurt, you cannot doubt him and count him out. And he showed with one punch he can knock you out. And that was a clean uppercut. So good performance from him. Jaquan Buckley versus Antonio Arroyo. Jaquan Buckley has become a guy that either he's giving somebody a highlight reel knockout, or he's receiving a highlight reel knockout. And I hate to say that, because I think once you become that stigma of, hey, I deliver highlight reel knockouts, this is what I'm known for, like the kick on the that kick he gave to Casenya last year or 2 years ago. Um, that's all you're known for, and that's all they're gonna push you for. Not the fighter, not the guy that can do all these other things, like this guy that can fight and do this and that. No, you're just that guy, um, and it's unfortunate. And hopefully he turns around. Hopefully he can get away from that stigma. But so right now, um, that is who he is, and that's not a bad thing per se because again, you're gonna people gonna watch you. You're gonna always be an entertaining fighter and everything like that. But then the UFC is gonna put you against other guys that are knockout artists as well, and so now you're faced with that. And so now, if you don't get the knockout, now well, people look at you differently. Say, oh, well, he's not that good, or oh, he's not really that great and everything like that. Um, so I worry for him for that. But you can't deny how impressive he is, and if you look beyond just the knockouts, the way he sets things up, the way he's just imposing, just walks you down. Um, there's a lot to like about Jaquan Buckley, and I'm interested to see where he goes in this. Sorry, yeah, my sinuses are messing up. Where he goes in this division. Um, and other performance on this card that stuck out to me, Tifon Nukwi beat Mike Rodriguez. Um, Somebody to look out for in the 205 division. I was very impressed with Tifon. Very, very impressed. His striking looked good. I was amazed by his cardio. The amount of output he threw, I think he threw maybe about 150 or close to 200 strikes as a 205er, and he still looked fresh. He still looked good. Was still pursuing, was still active, and Rodriguez tried to turn it on and try to, you know, Michael, first of all, he took a lot of shots. He took a lot of shots, a lot of headshots. Was able to keep going, which is impressive. His durability, but also it felt like Michael Rodriguez was waiting for that moment where Tifon slips up and maybe his gas tank shows. Maybe he slows down and then he'll capitalize on it. But every time he would try to do so, it seemed like Teflon would just put the pace back on him and coming back with some big shots, and just going back to being aggressive and moving forward and just throwing shots. I thought it was really, really good. I think out of everybody on this entire card, I thought he had the best performance by far. Somebody I'm really interested to see how he does moving forward. Um, yeah, man. I overall I thought the card was good. Um, there weren't really a lot of storylines, if you want us to call that, to like look out for or pay attention to. Um, and overall, I think it was a solid card, but I would give Bellator just a nod. Again, if you're going head to head with Bellator, you cannot miss. You gotta kind of have you know some type of intrigue in your main event as well, especially where it's like you're clearly going head to head with them and trying to go like heavyweight for like heavyweight. And I thought, in comparison, I thought Bellator had the better produced card. I thought they had the better um, main event with more intrigue. And yeah, I would give, if I'm giving Bellator a B plus, I'm giving UFC Fight Night a solid B. I thought some good fights on there, some good performances on there, but just not on the level what Bellator was last night. I think that's what stands apart. So if you're gonna put these cards on, um, kind of gotta do a little bit more, or try to have a little bit more intrigue compared to what your counterpart is trying to do. Um, so it's gonna be interesting to see, you know, maybe a month from now, whatever, we have the same conversation again where the UFC fight nights compared to a Bellator card just not as good. And I wonder when we're gonna see the next title fight on a UFC card. It's been a while since we've seen that, and I would love to see a title fight being done on a UFC card. Um, it's been I think the last one was Benavidez versus Figueiredo. Um, and I you know we don't really get those title fights on fight nights anymore. So it'll be interesting to see, what they do, after this year. What are they going to go back to doing more live events in other places for fight nights, or they're going to stay in the Apex Center. So that'd be interesting. Overall, B plus for Bellator, B for UFC Fight Night. Um, yeah, yeah, good stuff. So thank you guys. Again, I'm trying to talk like. Hopefully, I wasn't too nasally for you guys. Hopefully, I didn't sound too off. Again, I'm kind of fighting back a cold right now. I'll hopefully be better tomorrow. But nonetheless, you don't fear. You guys are getting an MMA news show live on Thursday, 3 p.m. And then you're also getting a prediction show on Friday covering Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega, Shevchenko versus Laura Murphy. Um, and then Sunday, we're going to talk about it. Sunday, we're going to talk about it. Possibly, when I say we, maybe Elijah comes in, maybe not. We'll see. Um, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated on what's going on through the week. Um, and yeah, thank you guys for being so patient with me. Thank you guys for following me today. Make sure you hit the like button. Definitely appreciate that. And we'll be back. So better, hopefully not as nasally, not as congested too. So again, thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. Signing off. My name is Tyriece Simon, and this is MMA Renegade.